All right, welcome everyone to the Dynasty Strong Level Up Squad team call. I'm super excited that you're here. I see Sandra waving in. I see Alma on video, and the rest of you guys. I'm glad that you're here as well. Today, Meg is going to be our speaker. I'm super excited. I got to meet Meg it feels like a decade ago now. Um, and I've always been inspired by Meg's story. Got the opportunity to get to know her a little better as both of our teams earned the top 10 in the same year. But I'm always super impressed with Meg. I love her story. She was recently on the National Wake Up Call. She's a wife and a mom of two. She has a superstar diamond team, which means a 15-star diamond team. She has been a BODi partner since 2009. And this is the part that I'm most impressed about. 12-time elite team. So she's led an elite team for 12 years. She has 149 months consecutive in Success Club. And so with that being said, Meg, I'm going to pass the time over to you to hear your story and hear some tips that you have to share with us.
Sure. And Scotty, it was over a decade. It was because I remember, do you remember they wanted us to learn how to speak Italian? And we were all like, I feel like we were on it wasn't even Zoom. They didn't have Zoom back then, but we were all talking. And I remember you saying, like, I spend like 4 hours doing personal development and doing this and doing that. And I was like, I work my business in 2 hours. It was just like so crazy thinking back to that day. Right. And it's been a long time, you guys, and I am a beach body, bleed blue person, true and true. I will be here forever because it was 2009 and it goes beyond just building a business. I've grown up with BODi. Okay. I was 22 when I signed up as a coach, and I had no goal to build this business. My upline is Janelle Summers. I know you guys probably all know who Janelle Summers is because she's wonderful. And she lived down the street from me. I had moved back home from college. I got a degree in nutrition. My dream is to go on and become a registered dietitian, but I didn't get into a dietetic internship. So I moved back home with my parents. I felt like such a loser, you guys. And I was like, okay, so what can I do to hold off these loans that are coming at me? And so my older sister Corinne said, why don't you go back and get your master's in public health nutrition? Like, I didn't even know what that meant, but I was like, okay, if I don't have to pay my loans, like, going for it, right? And I had no money and I was going to school and I needed something like really easy to do. And my sister introduced me to Janelle. And she said, I had been doing Turbo Jam workouts. And she said, Meg, this is the girl in the Turbo Jam workout. She's looking for an assistant. And, lo and behold, Janelle and I connected. I started working for her. I worked for her as her virtual assistant, which is so funny because I'm really not a very organized person at all. But I loved her, and so I did a very good job. But I worked for her from 2009 to 2013 when we were still a top 10 team. She was in the top 10 as well. And she basically had to be like, Meg, you should probably stop doing this. Like, you should probably focus on your business and not mine as well. But I didn't have children at the time, right? So I had all this time to devote to this. But anyways, I was her virtual assistant. I was able to see kind of behind the scenes of what she did. And I respected the way that she built her business because she really is that sweet, you guys. She really is that person who, when she speaks, you want to listen, right? She knows what she's talking about and she really wants to help people. And so when I saw her build this business for 2 years, I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I told her when I signed up, and she actually told her husband, like, I don't think that Meg is ever going to build this, right? Because I was not that skyrocket success. For 2 years, I kind of sat on the sidelines and didn't really invest in it. And it wasn't until, honestly, Mindy Wender, I don't know if you guys know Mindy Wender, she quit her full-time job and she plastered it all over social media. And I was like, what in the world? Because she signed up a week after me. And it was like one of those eye roll moments where I was like, oh, good for her. But then I was also like, what am I doing? Like, I love these workouts. I love talking to people about them when I do it. Like, what could happen if I actually went for it? Okay. And so I went all in. That was 2011. pre-total solution packs and challenge packs. It was just like Shakeology and like a DVD, like separately, right? It was like crazy. And I just went for it. We went diamond. And then the end of 2011 is when they released challenge packs. And that's when my business really took off, you guys. I think a lot of you guys have been around for a while, I believe, and there's going to be new partners and old partners that listen to this. And so I want to make sure that I relate it to everyone. But here's the thing. I think people take for granted the value that we're offering it because a lot of people have just had that. But when you think back a decade ago, you guys, we had to sell them all separately. So when they put everything together, it was like, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for the value that they're getting for the price that it's at. Okay. And so the end of 2011 is when we took off. We finished number 11 in 2012, which is really cool to think back. It was one of those moments where I was like, oh, that burned. But looking back, I'm like, oh, that was pretty awesome. Number 6, which Scotty and Amber Snow at this point, she was Amber Scott back then, the last week of December, you guys scooted past me out of that 4th spot. I remember being like, come on, Scotty. But I think it was like literally like points in between us, you guys. But it was amazing to go on the trip with him. And you guys, ever since then, I've become a mom. I have 2 children. I have an 8.5-year-old little girl and a almost 5-year-old boy. My gosh, you guys, they are a different species. Like, let me tell you, love that kid. But like just before I got on this call, he went running out of his room screaming. And I'm like, oh, okay, what happened? Right? He locked the bathroom and he's like, I'm scared of a goblin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, did you see something in your room? He's like, no, I was just thinking about a show I watched. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get on call, dude. Like, go to bed. So they're a whole other species, but so much fun, right? But like Scotty said, 12-time elite, you guys. Here's the thing though. I think back to the conversation that I said at the beginning when, Scotty was saying, I do a lot of personal development, like 4 hours a day. I remember he was doing it back then with all those kids. I'm like, how are you fitting this in? And I would say, I only worked 2 hours, which I was only working about 2 hours, you guys, but I was very focused in 2 hours a day building a top 10 team. Now, that was a decade ago. I understand things have changed since then, but I think so often we look at these big name partners who are doing awesome things, but they're bringing in hundreds of people a month, right? And we kind of set ourselves apart from them, right? And say like, I could never do that. So then we don't even try. Can anyone relate to that? Where you're like, but I can't sell 20 challenge packs. I can't do this. We overcomplicate this business. So when I was talking to Scotty and he asked me to, speak to you guys, he said, my team will want to hear about how to hit Success Club and recruit. And I'm like, it's the same thing we've been asking for the last 15 years, you guys. It's always that. Okay. And so what I really want to do for you guys tonight is to remind you and shine light on the things that you already know to do. And maybe you're going to have some ahas. And if you do, please let me know, put it in the chat bar. I'm a words of affirmation girl. So, put it there. Feel free to message me, ask questions afterwards. My Instagram is just Meg Kozlowski, so you can just reach out to me on there. But tonight, the topic is recalibrating your business for 2024, okay? Because the bones of this business, while compensation changes and we get all, like, I didn't even know 3-day split was coming out. Like, I'm like, what? And then there's like Shanti. I'm like, what is all this stuff? Like, what is going on? I've been doing dig deeper. Like, that can kind of make us tail spin. And then I was on vacation, they announced the cruise and I was like, nope, not looking, right? Like, they're always going to have all this stuff changing, you guys. But the basis of this business is so simple, and dig deeper is freaking amazing. I agree. But it's so simple. We overcomplicate it. So if you're coming in, we're 12 weeks in to 2024, and you catch yourself feeling overwhelmed and stressed out and like you're not moving towards your business goals. Believe me, I got the email that I didn't get Q1. I didn't match my Q1 last month or last year or whatever. And I was just like, okay, whatever, like move forward, keep going, right? It shouldn't be something that makes you tail spin. Okay. But the bones of the business are so simple. Okay. We overcomplicate it. It goes into 6 different steps, you guys. And I'm going to say them out loud and I'm going to kind of break them down for you. Okay. So number 1, and you guys have heard these before, maybe in different words though. Focus on your own journey. Focus on your own journey. So be proof the products work, you guys. Duh. Okay. That's the difference between having to feel like you sell something and just naturally talking about it. When it's part of who you are, you can't help but talk about it, right? Number 2 is sharing your journey publicly on social media as well as just face to face with people. So just sharing your journey publicly. People don't know unless you show. Okay. People do not know what you're doing. Stop assuming it, right? Assuming. I remember my mom saying, assuming makes an ass out of you and me, right? So I always say that. So I'm like, okay, I can't assume that they know, right? Even 15 years in, there's still people who have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Okay, like cool, I'll keep sharing. All right, invite. So number 1 is the third, or the third one is invite people to do this with you. Okay. Number 4 is help them get results. Number 5 is invite them to become a partner. Okay. And some people might like mix those together, but keep them separately just for this. Okay. And then the last one, you guys, is teach them how to do 1 through 5. That's it. Those are the 6 steps of this business, you guys. But like I said, so often we overcomplicate it. And if you're focusing on those 6 things, you guys, you will just be naturally hitting Success Club and recruiting partners onto your team. Okay. I can guarantee, because that's what I've done for the last 15 years. Has some months been a little bit slower than others? Yeah, but I can always go back to one of those points and be like, yep, I'm a little off on that one. And you just focus back in, okay? Because we all need to trial and error. We don't even talking. I remember I was in on a retreat with Jess Dukes. Okay, so she's been a top 10 coach. I can't even keep count, right? Gigantic social media and the sweetest person. Okay, and we're talking, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of guessing." And I'm like, "Me too." Right? Like, me too. We're just guessing, you guys. So Melanie Metro, Lindsay Matway, Scotty, me, whoever, right? Natasha, we all are just going out there and trying stuff until you find something that works. And then you ride that wave. Okay. It's always going back to the drawing board, but giving yourself enough time. Okay. 60, 90, 6 months. Okay. Sometimes it takes time. And side note, after I did the national wake up call, my parents watched it and they told me that my is okay. So I'm going to try really hard not to say okay, because I just heard myself and I say okay or you guys a lot. So I'll maybe that's my token, right? Okay. So whenever I feel off with my business, you guys, I always go back to those 6 steps. I always go back. And so when you're doing those consistently, like I said, quality over quantity, you don't have to be the person that goes and helps 100 people. Okay. But quality over quantity, and you're focused on really helping them get results and turning them into someone who loves what they're doing and how they feel, they're going to be lifers too. Okay. Because if you go back to probably Scotty, you could probably ask him right now, probably every single one of you, you're around because of what it's done for you inside. Yes, it's great that it pays the bills as well, but that's not why we stick around. Okay. So just like wanting to lose weight, you guys, I'm a nutritionist, so I'm going to relate it back to that stuff. But just like when you want to lose weight, if you're hitting the calorie deficit, if you're working out, if you're sleeping, if you're drinking your water, right? I had to go run and grab my water. If you are doing all of those things, your body is going to lose weight. If you're doing the things that we go through, those 6 steps, you are going to naturally start hitting Success Club and recruiting partners. Okay. So when you think about it, you guys, those 6 steps, and I'd love for you guys to say it in the chat bar, is there 1 or 2 of them that you can pinpoint and say, oh yeah, I'm not really doing that? For me, I was able to go back and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing a good job of teaching my new partners 1 through 5. I bring them in, but then I'm overcomplicating 1 through 5. I can't do that. And I'll give you guys tips on that in a second, but it was like, okay, that's why I'm seeing what I'm seeing in my business right now. I am not teaching them the simple way to build this business. So this call was actually good for me. Thank you guys. So look at it, you guys, pinpoint them. All right. So looking at it, you got to set some goals in each one of those 6 areas. So the first one, your journey. Do you have goals for your journey right now? I just came out of a maintenance. So my focus was adding muscle with Dig Deeper. Now I started a calorie deficit and I'm focused on leaning out with Dig Deeper, right? I'm going to lose 10 pounds with Dig Deeper, right? Really, it's like 5 pounds, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Sharing your journey. What are your goals for that? Spell them out, you guys. So for me, I like to share at least one post either on my Instagram stories or on my static post about my journey every single day. That's my goal. I take the weekend off, so it's Monday through Friday. And then one weekly update of my results. So those are those clear goals that I have for sharing my journey. Inviting people. I have a goal of inviting 5 people every single day to do this with me. Whether that week I'm inviting to become a partner or whether that week I'm inviting people to join my upcoming group. Okay, but 5 people Monday through Friday. So total helping them get results. So just like I said on the national makeup call, I kind of broke it all down. But weekly, I'm reaching out to my clients and I'm saying, because I'm not bringing in thousands of people, okay? I usually hit about, Success Club 20 or so. And so those new clients are getting a message from me every single week saying, hey, how are you feeling, right? I broke it down in the national makeup call, so go back and listen if you missed it. But that's my goal for that step, is that I'm reaching out to them once a week and really shining light on what they're doing well and helping them through it so they get results, right? The next one, you guys, is inviting them to become a partner with you. So week 3, every single client who's showing up in my group and actually participating, they're going to get an invite to become a partner. Not all of them say yes, but that's my goal. The last one, you guys, is teaching them 1 through 5. So as you create habits for 1 through 5, be pinpointing what's working for you. So then you can go back and teach your team that. You don't need Scotty's plan. You don't need my plan. You need your plan. And you need to have confidence in your plan. Because as you go through and you teach them that, you're attracting people like you, right? Who learn like you, who talk like you. They're going to benefit from what you're sharing versus what other people are sharing. Do you know how many times I've tried other people's trainings? They're big name teams. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to implement it into my team. And then it falls flat. And then I feel like a failure. When in reality, they're not getting me. They're getting someone else who they didn't sign up with. So it's taking things and putting your own spin on it. Okay. So let's walk through your journey, you guys. So step number 1, when's the last time that you got your own transformation? And you actually took people through the whole process. This doesn't always have to be weight loss, you guys. It could be that you are training for a marathon. It could be that you are cutting out alcohol. I don't know if you guys follow Ashley Howard, but I have loved following her over the last, I think it's over a year at this point, how she was sharing how she was done with alcohol, right? And she didn't realize she had a problem with it, but she shared that whole journey. I applaud her majorly for that. Okay. Gut protocol. So maybe I've always had digestive issues. Okay. So when gut protocol came out, I shared all of that and the whole journey with people. And I helped a lot of people get started with that. Maybe it's adding muscle. Dig deeper. You can add a lot of muscle with that program. You guys just bump up to maintenance, eat that protein. You're going to put on muscle. So sharing that journey with people. So when's the last time? Has it been within the last 60 days? Has it been this year? It's time to set a new goal and start there. So if you follow I have 2 separate Instagram accounts, but I just started a calorie deficit, like I said. And so I'm walking through, I'm being so vulnerable with people and sharing that, I just came out of maintenance and here I am in a calorie deficit and sharing that transformation so that day by day, step by step, they see what's happening so that when I get to the end of the 12 weeks, they saw the transformation, right? Number 2, guys. So sharing your journey publicly. How often are you sharing your journey? I know there's people who've been on here for a long time, you've been part of BODi for a long time. Maybe you have some stories of people are sick of hearing from me. The right ones are not. Okay, they are not sick of hearing from it. I still see Scotty's post pop up and I'm like, right? And we've been following each other for over a decade. The right people will not be sick of you. The ones who are, they can unfollow you. Who cares? All right. I used to track that so closely. Now I'm like, bye. But bare minimums of 4 times per week, you guys, that's what I tell my team is 4 times per week. If you do it daily, great. But 4 times bare minimum of sharing something about your journey. And this can be through your stories. It can be through posts, sharing about your supplements, sharing about the nutrition plan that you're following, sharing, recipes, the workouts, the personal development, daily growth, right? What's the daily fire with Scotty or Scotty Hobbs, with Scotty Hobbs, no, with Brendan Burchard. You guys, it's 9 here, so my brain is physical results. Okay, so sharing the physical results and the progress that you're going through to your own freaking horn. Okay, do it. Okay, step number 3, guys, is inviting others to do this with you, like I said. So you should always have something that you're inviting to. I came back from vacation. I was in Florida for a week, and I came home, and April 1st, I sat down, and we just started this new group, which feel free to take our idea. It was 75 days of progress. So it's like 75 hard, but we've really dialed down the habits. And we said in a 90-day period, the goal is to get 75 days of these habits. And if you miss a day, you're able to just pick back up. I've done 75 hard before. Here's the thing. I applaud people who do it. I think it creates a very black and white way of thinking that a lot of people struggle with afterwards. So the whole goal is to say, okay, you miss a day, just pick back up, right? Create that consistency. And what I'm finding, even just within the 4 days that we just started it, is that people are like, oh, I missed this habit, but I'm just going to start over, not start over, but I'm going to just pick back up tomorrow and hit day 3. And I'm like, yes, that's the point of this group, right? But have an idea of what you're inviting to. So like I said, this group started and I came home April 1st. And I'm like, I have nothing to invite to. And my brain was like, duh, right? Like, how do I sit down and work? I have nothing to invite to. And so I had to come up with an idea, and I'm just inviting to my ongoing group right now. But I was like, I have to figure out how to make this sexy and exciting for me, so then I can go share that with other people. So take the time, you guys, to really get excited about what you're inviting to. Don't just invite to the newest program. I used to fall victim to that, where I'd be like, oh, 3-day split. Oh, this, oh, that. And I would feel so stressed out all the time. Now I'm like, dig deeper, dig deeper, dig deeper, right? Like over and over and over again, promoting that because it's what I love. Okay. So have something that you're inviting to. Okay. Makes things a lot easier. It makes it a lot more fun. So step number 4, you guys, help them get results. So and with inviting, you guys, I always get this question. People are like, so who do you invite? I still go back to my Instagram stories and my Facebook stories and my Facebook posts and my Facebook memories. And yes, these people have been invited a million bazillion times, but guess what? They're still following me. And I rarely, knock on wood, because I hate trolls, I rarely have someone say something mean to me. Usually they're like, hey, Meg, I'm not ready. Or you know what? Yeah, I've been following you for 10 years. I'm ready. And if I would have gotten in my head and said, oh my God, but I've invited her like 70 times, I would have not invited her and she wouldn't be joining. Okay. So until someone tells me like, you're super annoying, I'm going to keep sharing this with them. Not no, like, let me sell you way, but like, because I love what I do. Okay. Number 4 is helping them get results, you guys. So we can't do it for people. We can't do it. I'm a recovering people pleaser, very much so. And I would get really down about people not showing up in my groups. And I would feel like a failure. We can't do it for people, but we can set them up for success. So make sure you're holding your end of the bargain. So help them choose the program, help them choose the supplements, help them choose the nutrition plan that's best for them. Check in on them. If they're ignoring you, again, it's like going on a date. If the person is not talking back, like that's going to end pretty quickly. But if they're responding back, it's going to go on for a while. So show up for them. Show up as the client that you want in your group as well. 15 years in, you guys, I check in every single day with my workout and I share what I'm doing and how I felt or whatever every single day. I'm probably missed days before, but I'm not that black and white. But over 15 years, I'm still showing up and doing it. You want to make sure that you are checking in on them. So like I said, the national wake up call once a week at least. Just, hey, how you doing? You enjoying the supplements? How are the workouts going? Oh, you're not liking the workout? Let's figure out a different one for you. You want them to feel like they can reach out and ask you questions. And make sure that it's timely. Obviously, you don't need to be glued to your phone. You don't have to respond back like as soon as they message you. I used to do that all the time. Set business hours of when you're going to check your messages, and your clients will respect that. You teach them how you respond back. My team always laughs because they know from like two to three every single day they can reach me. After that, I'm gone until the next day. Cheer them on. I just had a call before this with my team, and one of the newer partners was saying, I'm not known as a fitness person. And people are looking at me like, who is this girl? Who does she think she is to be able to talk about health and fitness? Said, you don't have to be the go-to person. Yes, I have a nutrition background, right? So I am that go-to person for people, but there's a lot of successful coaches they don't have the background. Your job as a partner is to be their cheerleader, their support system. We have the tools and the knowledge and everything on BODi for that experience, right? You don't have to have it. Those who disappear, you guys hold space for them. Hold space and know it's not a reflection on you. So often when I have a client disappear, and partners, there's usually something going on in their head, or a fear of letting you down, or they have something behind the scenes happening. So if you hold space for them so that when they come back, you're like, hey, come on, come right back in. Guess what happens? They'll stick around. I have clients who've been around for 14 years, and never partners, but they're still here. Okay. And they disappear for months at a time, and then they come back. Step 5, you guys, invite them to become partners with you. So often we scare ourselves out of this. One of my partners before this call said, I have a lot of success with signing people up like at the beginning as a partner. I just don't tell myself that story that they have to be great like clients, right? She said, I don't tell myself that story. I don't tell myself that they have to be a great client before they sign up as a partner. And I thought that was so interesting, because I always tell myself, like, you have to have a transformation and then you can become a partner. It's a story that I told myself. We get to choose the stories, you guys. So think about that in the way that you are approaching people to become a partner. Now, I know I said week 3, I invite people to become partners because that's my system. That's what works well for me. But think about your system. If you feel like it's broken, maybe it's time to just try something different, right? Do you guys ever throw spaghetti against the fridge? Throw spaghetti against the fridge. Make sure it's done, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? We'll just see if the noodle is ready. And if it falls off, you try something different, okay? So for instance, you guys, I have a client of mine who has made it through 3 weeks of job 1. She has she just got diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. And she's like, it's a really big thing that I've stuck to this workout for so long. And she's so proud of herself. So I reached out to her and I was like, Emily, like, congratulations on completing 3 weeks. This is amazing. I've loved watching you. The energy that you have in the group is just so great. It's made the group a better environment for everyone. I would love to have you on my team. Have you ever thought of becoming a partner, right? So you point out what they're doing well, and then you invite them, okay? And some will say yes, some won't say yes, right? But it's always making it personal and inviting them, and make sure that you're not missing that step, because so often people talk themselves out of it, or they give the easy, hey, do you know that your Shakeology is about to, and I think I shared this on the National Wake Up Call, so ignore this part, but we always scoot in the discount, right? Where we're like, do you know that you can save 20% on Shakeology? But we like forget, like, hey, you're doing great in the group. You would be a great partner. You'd be a great coach. You would be great cheering people on. And you get a discount, right? That's the cherry on top. So making sure that you have that step 5 in your system, you guys, because here's what happens. When we skip step 5, one, we don't build our team, right? But then when we bring people on, we're not able to help them with it. And then we're like, I don't know how to build as a team. You just got to go out there and do it. My daughter right now is learning how to do an aerial. Okay, so that's like a cartwheel without arms. It's the scariest thing in the entire world to watch my 8.5-year-old just like throw herself, right? And what I'm finding is that she's just going out and trying and falling on her face and falling over. And it's like, as a mom, I'm like, ah, like I can't watch this. She gets right back up and she has a big smile on her face and she's like, that didn't work. And she just goes again. It's like, as adults, we're behind a phone, you guys, or a computer, and we're freaking ourselves out because something didn't work. Just go try something different. Okay. Think about the 8.5-year-old that's throwing herself up and going for it again. Okay. So step number 6, you guys, the last one is teaching them how to do it. Like I said, you never know what's going to work. You never know what's going to work. And 15 years in, I still go back, and recently I started a new partner mentorship for my team. And I was like, okay, we usually do pods, right? And the pods do great. So I'm going to add them all in, right? And the first week it was like crickets. Like, so I add my corporate rep, Tiffany Albright, in it. And I'm like, help me, like get them talking, right? And she tried some stuff, crickets. I'm like, what is going on? What do we do? Back to the drawing board. What always works? One-on-one interaction, you guys. One-on-one connection. People want to feel like they are being seen. When they are even on this, right, with like 6 of us, people see you, right? You guys are probably like, okay, there's 6 of us, but I can hide behind the other people. But if it was just you and me face to face, and I was talking to you and I was asking you questions, you wouldn't be able to run, right? And I could personalize what we were having a conversation about. So I went back to the drawing board and said, okay, I'm going to grab, and I haven't had a ton of new partners, but I'm going to grab those partners who want to take it to that next step and say, do you want to be one-on-one coached by me? And majority of them said yes, right? So I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be a lot of text messages. So what I'm doing, and it's working well, you guys, is that, say that Scotty was one of my new partners, I'm going to go at his pace. And I'm going to say, hey, Scotty, I know that you're a little shyer, and I know that social media is not a big thing for you. What if we just make it a goal for the next week that you're going to put up 3 posts? And every time that you put up a post, you're going to tag me and you're also going to text me, right? And so, what I found is that this one girl who's a little more, shy about social media, it was within the next hour of giving her that challenge, boom, a post up. She was like, I've gone rogue. She's like, I just put it up. I was like, yay, right? I'm like, okay, 1 down, 2 more to go, right? And I'm able to cheer her on. And then I have another one that's like very bold, very coachable. And so hers was tweaked, where I was like, okay, Tiff, like I know you got the social media down. What we're going to do is we're going to put a call to action up tonight. We're going to put a call to action up tonight. You're going to tag me in it. And then you're also going to send out 5 invites. And when you do both of those, I want you to text me. Within the next hour, boom, boom, right? And they text me. They want that applause, right? But they also want to be like, watch, I'm doing it, Meg. Now, this is not all of them. Some of them I'm like, hello, but some of them are. Okay. So if you feel like you're struggling with 1 through 5, like teaching your team that, try the one-on-one, because you're going to learn through coaching them as well. There's things that I've forgotten or that don't work anymore that I'm like, oh shoot, okay. So call to actions are different now. They've changed so much. So seeing them put up a post at 1 p.m., like, while I'm really proud of you, it's a horrible time to post a call to action. So I'm able to coach them through it, right? Like, yes, you did it. Awesome. Next one, let's do it tomorrow night, right? And so it's coaching them and also helping me tweak the way that I'm coaching them. Make sense? So the last thing, you guys, is that like Success Club and recruiting, you guys, it's going to become part of your team if you make it a priority, right? And you don't scare yourself out of it. If we are naturally, organically doing these things and having fun with it. And I always tell my team, like, going for things that are like a hand reach out, not the things that, I forget who it was it Josh Coates, who would always say, like, make your goal. Scotty, was it like, he would like say, like, it's got to be a goal that makes you want to vomit or something. I hated that because I'm like, who likes to vomit, right? but like one that gives you butterflies that like is just like a hand reach out, right? Where it's like, okay, this is something that I can shoot for, but it's going to stretch me a little bit. And then once I hit that goal, I'm going to have that confidence. So then the next time I go for a goal, I'm going to reach out a little bit more and keep building the confidence versus throwing up on your way to your goal, right? So you're not going to see monstrous results overnight. That's not this kind of business, right? But just like your health journey, if you keep showing up and you're patient and you trust the process, you're going to see success. A while ago, Janelle and I were talking about a coach who had built a six-figure business off of just hitting Success Club 5. And she said, do you think that's still possible? Like, do you still think that that's possible if someone just goes after Success Club 5, that they can build a six-figure business? And I really, truly, and she's bringing on people as well, right? Partners as well, and teaching them to hit Success Club. It's not just her. But I really do believe that that's true. You can build a very solid, sustainable six-figure business with hitting Success Club 5 if you're doing 1 through 6, you guys, and you're patient with it. If you want it to go faster, awesome. You just increase the numbers, right? It's a numbers game. But if you want sustainability, really pour quality into people, you guys. Got it? All right. I think that's it, Scotty.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Meg, I love that you break it out into steps. It
Yeah.
makes it easier for me to learn. I love that they did that inside of the Body Partners training as well, for us to get more organized with our stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so sorry, I wasn't on the video during the call. I was listening while I was driving, and I absolutely loved the message that you shared. There was a few things in there that I really needed to hear as well. So I appreciate your time. I know that everyone on here appreciate the time as well, and those that are going to listen to this recording. It's late for you, almost 10 o'clock p.m. So uh, we're going to let you go, and I want to say thank you so much for coming and adding value to our team.
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. And just keep it simple. Anytime there was like a quote that I heard recently that was like, an overwhelmed brain does nothing, right? But like what's the opposite of an overwhelmed brain? It's a plan. So having a plan, keeping it simple, knowing that you can stick to the plan, but you can also tweak it a little bit as you go along, but give it enough time to actually grow, right? So like as you do these things, you guys don't expect it to happen in 30 days. If you do dig deeper, 12 weeks, you're going to see results, but it might not be the goals that you want. It might take 4 rounds of dig deeper. Same thing with this business.
I love that analogy. Thank you. All right. Well, I will have this call recorded. So if you have a member of your team that wasn't not able to be here, make sure to send that out. And once again, Meg, thank you. And we'll see you on that cruise.
Oh yeah. 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 Oh,